Mike, one of the things that we're going to find out soon, and I'm trying to get some really qualified genealogists on the show, is that the whole CODIS system run by the FBI is an antiquated system that's probably going to be outdated very, very soon. And the question to that, and that's why I can't wait to, if I get, I'm not going to say who it is, but I'm trying to get these very competent genealogists on the show who are in academia, and I have them explain this whole new science of genetic genealogy, which does not really use the same techniques that is criminal DNA is used and stored and given to the FBI and put into the CODIS system. They use something called SNAP, and I'm not going to pretend to know what it means, but I'm going to have people come on here who's going to explain that. And then they build family trees. And then they somehow figure out through these family trees, oh, this person is a criminal in this family. And, I'm oversimplifying it, but that is why down the road, the whole CODIS system may be thrown out the window.
When you look back, DNA, the first case with a DNA conviction was in England back in like the mid 1980s with a guy named Colin Pitchfork. I think he was a child molester, rapist, and you needed a lot of blood. The DNA science was developed in England, and so he was the first one to be convicted in the world on DNA evidence. It comes to America. It's written about in journals, and after a couple of years, it becomes acceptable theory. And you have protocols developed to analyze it based on the British system. It comes into trials all the time. We know it's absolutely reliable. And it seems to be that, okay, that's where we're at. And then you get DNA evidence after the 9/11 attacks. Phil talked about, the advancement in the science is just leaps and bounds. You've got touch DNA, doesn't even involve blood. It could be just old skin cells on your fingertips or any part of your arm or any part of your body. No blood involved, nothing like that. From a hair follicle, even, totally revolutionized. And I remember seeing an article in National Geographic about, people looking for ancestral DNA and trying to use it to look back at human evolution. Depending on how they analyze it, they can predict the actual hair color or eye color of the person who's given the sample. It's just remarkable, and even that is getting older now. It's just you need to have a brand new degree in this sort of thing within the past couple of years. You got a degree in DNA technology back in the 1990s. That's ancient history. It's just remarkable.
Well, it was Barbara Butcher, I believe, who said that because of 9/11, DNA advanced 3 generations. And that is just incredible. So 3 generations, because of how much work they did during 9/11 on identifying all those bodies, that it was able to advance 3 whole generations. I just want to play a bit of this. We'll put this on the screen. Actually, I'm not going to play this now. I'm going to remove it. But it just totally incredible that occurred. And when I talk about, when you talk about DNA technology, you use these fancy letters, RFLP, restriction, fragment length, polymorphism. Right away, you lose everyone. PCR, polymerase chain reaction, STR, short tandem repeats. Guess what? The genetic genealogists use none of those. So what's going to happen down the road? It seems like civilians have advanced this science further than law enforcement. So guess what? Law enforcement better get trained by the civilians in this, because this is the wave. It's not just the wave of the future. It's here already. It's here. And if the FBI wants to run it, they better start getting trained in it. And also local police departments. they better start getting trained in genetic genealogy.
Right. And also to be able to analyze it once, collecting it, preserving it for analysis. Perhaps the FBI will farm it out to certain labs that deal exclusively with law enforcement, something like that. But the protocols for the handling of it, the analysis, the collection, the interpretation of the evidence, of the DNA evidence, that's where it's at. That's where it's going. And the good thing about that, like the electronic evidence that we get with the geofencing, with the cell phone technology, it's unemotional. And that's the wonderful part about it. It's unemotional. It's reliable. It's not subject to personal emotions. It's not subject to, any other human failings, memory, or anything like that. So long as you get the information within a particular amount of time. For instance, DNA does degrade if you get a body maybe that's not found for a while in the woods and it's subject, to all kinds of degradation, or the sample is so old. But the technology and the interpretation, it's just absolutely, it's 99.9999% accurate in all respects. And this gives juries the ability to hang their hat and say yes or no, on that one issue. So if you're a district attorney and you got a homicide case or a rape case or a serious assault case, and you got a DNA sample and it comes back as you suspect, at that point, you got to be looking to the defense attorney saying, look, you want to plea bargain this because this is a slam dunk. I got this. It's circumstantial. Remember, it is always circumstantial evidence, but it is the most absolute, reliable circumstantial evidence that you could ever get.
Absolutely.